So today in the Quarantine Cafe, we are making dessert. And we are going to make a cookies and cream cheesecake icebox cake. The good news is it's super easy. The bad news is it has to chill for at least 4 hours in the fridge. So let's get started because the sooner we start, the sooner we can eat. I've got half a block of cream cheese in here. This bowl is chilled. I had it in the freezer for a few minutes. That's going to help us in a minute. So I've got a softened block of cream cheese. See how my whisk goes right into it? We want that. Careful, this is going to be loud. We're going to mix in 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. Really kind of ooh! Be careful. Don't be like me. All right, so I'm kind of going in there. If you had an electric mixer, that would make this even easier. It'd take like 2 seconds. Just mix it together on low until it's combined. I don't have an electric mixer. Or, sorry, I have an electric mixer, but I'm doing this with a whisk to show those of us who don't have an electric mixer. You can do it by hand. It's no problem. Ooh, I was silly. I should have started with my spatula. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is mush together the cream cheese and the powdered sugar. And the reason we're doing this is because then when we add the cream cheese is going to incorporate into the cream a lot better. That's already starting to broke up a little bit. Once we have these fully incorporated and we're starting to get some air into it, see how it's getting a little bit lighter and smoother? At this point, you could add in whatever flavorings you want. So you could add peanut butter if you wanted it. You could add Nutella, cocoa powder, any kind of flavoring you could add in there would be delicious. I'm just going to add a little bit of vanilla extract because I have it. Just like a half teaspoon. Boop. Stir that in. And I'm going to add a little bit of orange zest. And basically what zest is, it's just the very outer peel of the orange. So I've got this microplane grater. You could use whatever grater you have. And just gently go like this because I love chocolate and orange together. And as I said, this is cookies and cream. We're putting some chocolate sandwich cookies in our final product. So I'm not going to zest the whole orange. I just want like a hint of orange flavor. Maybe do half. Oh, it smells so good already. It smells like straight up orange in my house. But you can do whatever you have. If you had some jam, you could stir that into the cream cheese. Or if you wanted to even add some like frozen or fresh fruit, you could add that in, but I would wait till after you whip the cream. All right, so I'm going to moosh this in. See how that like the zest of the orange is full of beautiful essential oils. As you can see are like staining the cream cheese right now. It's getting a little yellow. Looks like sunshine. All right. So now I'm just going to scrape up the remainder of what is in here. I'm once again making a giant mess. That's okay. It'll be worth it. Just make sure you clean up after yourself. Otherwise, your parents won't let you cook in your kitchen again. Luckily for me, I'm the only one who cooks in my kitchen. I'm just going to sneak a little. Delicious. Oh man, that tastes good. Tastes like a creamsicle. Okay, so now I'm going to add a cup of heavy cream. I'm going to mix that in. And we're going to start, ooh, that was loud. We're going to start by just gently mixing the cream and cream cheese together until it kind of combines. I'm going to start slow. Yeah, mix it all together. Okay, so now see how there I've got cream cheese on my whisk? I want to really get that in there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to whip the cream. And once again, if you had a stand mixer, just whip. I would do it on low to medium. just so that you don't overbeat it, because if you overbeat it, it turns into butter and that's gross. And if you go slower, it just takes slightly longer. So that's better. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix this by hand. Look, it looks chunky now, but it's going to be good, I promise. So tilt the bowl so that it gets a little bit deeper. And then you put the whisk in, and you want to go, you're kind of doing like a reverse of what a jump rope is. So you know how you jump rope with your wrist like this? Same thing, but opposite. Ooh, I maybe should have got a bigger bowl. That's okay. Stir. It'll start to thicken up. Also, if you have a blender or a food processor, you could use that to whisk or to whip the cream. See how it's starting to get thicker already, though? It's definitely some work to do it by hand, but it's okay. It's not too bad. Get your arm workout for the day. And the point of whisking is we want to incorporate air into it. So see how it's already getting kind of like thick and creamier? And then eventually it's going to get to whipped cream consistency. Woo! Honestly, even the cream cheese is optional in this dish. You can just whip the cream. So see how my whisk is starting to like, you can see the shape going through it. It's starting to get there. That's how whipped cream always is. It goes from nothing's happening to the cream is up. Sometimes I even like to go like this. It's a little easier on the arms. Just to give my arm a break. Woo. Oopsies. Now you're going to notice we didn't put that much sugar in the whipped cream. That's because the cookies are really sweet. So we're layering with some chocolate wafer cookies, aka Oreos. They've got a lot of sugar in them, so we don't need a ton of sugar in the whipped cream. Because if we have a ton of sugar in the whipped cream, the whole thing's going to taste like sickeningly sweet. We don't want that. Okay, do you see now how it's starting to hold its shape? This is called a soft peak. So I lift it up, whoo, and it folds over. Folds over. We want it to come to stiff peaks. And I will show you what that means. We gotta keep going, keep going. When you get to the soft peak stage, you could, that's when I would add jam if I were using it, or, and then it starts to get hard. Like it gets tougher on your arm. So now, soft peaks still. See how it bends over? It's okay. We're gonna go a little more. Just to bring to stiffer peaks. Yeah. See how that holds its shape? Sticks up and doesn't bend over. You could even, flip that over your head. But don't, just in case you're not stiff enough. Okay. So that's really like all of the work that's gonna happen for this dish. Now all we have to do is layer. I'm gonna grab a paper towel real quick because I made a huge mess. All right, so now, much like the Avengers, we assemble. And this recipe calls for half a pack of Oreos. If you wanted to double it, you easily could. Just use an 8x8 dish or maybe like a pie plate, something a bit bigger. So what we're gonna do is just layer the cookies on the bottom. I got 4 here. There's my little cutting board because we really want to like really cover the bottom of that dish. So we're gonna scoot some little cookie pieces. Oops. It's okay. It doesn't have to look perfect. But basically what we want is for it to kind of cover the bottom. So I've got 5 cookies on the bottom there. We're gonna use 15 cookies total. Now I'm gonna take a third, and literally what I do is I just kind of go like that. That one's a little, there we go. Go like that. Take a third of this cream mixture, plop it right on top. And then just gently, cookies want to spread around. Spread it out. You could do this in any bowl. I chose this one because I like the clear sides so you can see the whole thing from the outside, and because it has a lid, you could just do this with a regular bowl and put foil or plastic wrap on top at the end. Ooh. Do you like that? Yeah. I'm working with clean hands, of course, but all right, so now the same again. I want to kind of try to make sure that I'm not layered exactly on top of the other cookies, just so that the broken parts aren't over broken parts. I wonder if I could fit 5 whole cookies. I've got that little bit. Okay. Yeah. Let's see, can we fit 6? Maybe 5.5? Yeah. Just kind of do like that. It's not hurting anybody. Whoop. Whoop. Okay, so now the next third of the cream goes on top. Spread it around. And as I said, if you wanted to for a party, you could easily double this recipe. Use a whole pack of cookies, an entire block of cream cheese, a little more powdered sugar, and a pint of cream. That's it. Easy peasy. Delish. You could also layer things in between these layers if you wanted to. Put a little nuts in there, pretzel pieces, and you could use basically anything instead of the cookies. You could use chocolate chip cookies. You could use graham crackers, Maria cookies, or any kind of like tea wafers. You could even use Ritz crackers. But if you're using a plainer cookie, I would strongly recommend adding some flavor and maybe even a little more sugar to that cream. Last one, 6. Oh, I got 7 on that guy. I guess mine's not the same size all the way up. That's all right. All right, now the most important thing is we want to end with cream. Gotta make sure we end with cream on top. Because as this sits for at least 4 hours, but I would really let it sit for 6 or 8 or even 12. As this sits, the cream is going to soak into the cookies and it's going to become like a cake. I'm just going to flatten that out a little bit so that when I put my lid on, it doesn't stick to it because just for fun, I'm going to top this with a few sprinkles. Why? Because I have them at the house. If you don't have sprinkles, no biggie. You could add chocolate chips, caramel sauce, chocolate sauce, nothing. Save one Oreo and crush it over the top. That'd be great. But to me, that looks like a party. So now I'm going to put the lid on it, stick it in the fridge, and it is almost 8, so I am not going to get to eat this until tomorrow. All right, it's the next day. We have been letting our Oreos and cream wait overnight. Well, at least 4 hours I let them wait overnight. I've got my festive little sprinkles there, and now we're gonna cut into it. So you're gonna see how those crispy cookies turn into a cake. See how my spoon goes right through it? Woo! Yeah. Just gonna cut myself a little piece. It's not the cleanest dessert in the world, but that's all right. And boom. Looks like a mess. It kind of reminds me of mud pie. You ever have that? But if you look in here, you can see Beautiful layers. Let's give it a taste. Got my sprinkly bits on top. Make sure I get some cookie and cream. It's really good. The cookie kind of melts in your mouth, but the cream is left intact from the Oreo. I've got that little bit of orange zest that I put in mine. Delish.